Hello, and what are you doing?
I don't know. Just
what are you doing? You've had so much time to sort yourself out, Dan. Can you sort this out, please?
Okay.
How's my?
I have a clip actually.
This is cool.
I can use it later.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
This is our work in progress FACEIT Studio, which we're going to use for the closing half of the Development League. We have 4 matches with Heroic today. I haven't commentated a match of Heroic, I don't think. Have you? I mean, if I haven't, you haven't either, but I'm going to ask you anyway.
I feel like, well, I've watched them play at least, so there's that, but I haven't casted them. So, but now
it's been a while since we've had a mini studio. Yeah. I'm liking this. It's cool.
Well, this is kind of where things it feels like it started.
Yeah.
Where's the grenade at though? That's weird, isn't it?
Where is the grenade?
Producer Patrick, where's the grenade at?
Yeah, we have producer Patrick today. Producer Reese. First there was producer Reese. Now there's producer Patrick and producer Reese, and therefore there is Patrice. Woo!
Okay.
Oh right. Well, I don't know if you can hear that, but we're checking the groups now.
They probably can't because I think these microphones they're very good at only taking audio in directly from our face.
Okay, so this is a leaderboard, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can count, Dan.
Good job.
Over to you.
It's pretty amazing actually. Some of the names in here, like for example.
I thought you meant counting.
For example, to see GODSENT obviously in this lineup of teams is definitely very intimidating for a lot of the other teams. But Heroic are one of the upcomers that have been surprising a lot. It's always nice to see MODDII doing stuff. I mean, he always had that notorious reputation for like jumping around on loads of different teams, never quite finding a home. So
yes,
he's very a home for him.
Very. He likes to drive his points home when he has a point to make. Dan, he's a point driver. Well, if he thinks that someone's underperforming, you know, he's going to roast them, basically.
Oh, okay, right.
You know, when he departed from the old Fnatic lineup,
he something.
said that you know, he was very critical of his teammates, and he went on to be the best team in the world, of course.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, things happen, but yeah, it's good to see him
He's
having
just very
some success.
Let's go with that.
He is. So we're going to look at the schedule now. Says producer Patrick. GODSENT versus Heroic, GODSENT versus Heroic, Gambit versus Heroic, Gambit versus
Say schedule
Heroic.
again.
I say schedule.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Because why do you do that?
Well, you say, but most people say failure, right?
Yeah.
Instead of, but the I is before the L. So why do you say failure when it's failure?
Failure. Well, I don't know.
You see, you just said it.
Did I?
Yeah.
It's getting weird.
Most people will say failure, but it's not F-A-L-I-U-R-E. It's F-A-I-L. It's fail. Otherwise, you'd say faily, wouldn't you? Why do you go from fail to faily?
I have nothing to add to this.
You got nothing for me.
I've got nothing to add to this.
Bruv.
All right.
Got nothing for me with your failure.
We need some props. I like we have a.
Where's the grenade? We still don't have the grenade. I have.
I couldn't find it. I
have a joystick.
Well, there you go.
This is one of my joysticks. Work. Because
does this actually work though?
Of course it works. Why would I have a joystick that doesn't work?
I like how it has a see-through bottom, so you can see.
Check this out.
Yeah.
I won this in a raffle for £10, but it's worth about £400.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is it worth so much?
Because the guy Vacuum makes them. This was actually made for a guy. It was originally completely transparent, and he was building it for somebody who wanted to painted white, basically.
Why was that even just on the floor there?
Because I brought it here to play some Street Fighter, but then it never happened. So now I need to take it home. Yeah, nice. It's pretty cool though.
Yeah, I like it.
We're waiting for the match to start. So meanwhile, we're just going to talk about stuff because I feel like we haven't been able to do this for ages. Yeah, I mean, we haven't. I mean, our season's been done for a while.
This is more of an intimate experience. I think having just like the desk that we can have stuff on.
Yeah,
which is nice.
One thing we missed.
Everything slid off of it.
One thing we missed with our old studio with a big long table was that it wasn't a flat table, so we couldn't put things on the table.
We tried though. It wasn't for lack of trying. We did try. We managed to hook the grenade onto that.
You took one of our employees' Obama statue and put it on there, and then I broke it.
Then you proceeded to break it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I bought a replacement one, and someone else broke it. Yeah.
Do you hear that?
What is that?
I think producer Mike is doing stuff.
Producer Reese, producer Patrick, producer Mice.
We're expanding. We have 3 producers now. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, it is.
They're all faceless. No one knows what they look like.
Well, they know what producer Mike looks like because he had that video where he's like,
yeah, he's stoned.
I'm very serious.
Yeah.
And you should join the caster competition. Boom.
There's a kind of a dead look in his eyes.
Yeah.
In that video.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was unsettling.
Yeah.
Because also there's no relief from that cold dead stare. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Yeah, that was an
4 minutes.
interesting video. 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
That's a painful video.
Indeed. Well, people still signed up to it, which was wonderful.
Thank God. We're into the game, Dan.
Nice.
Game 1, Heroic versus GODSENT.
This will be fun. It appears we are on train.
We are indeed. Friis, I believe that's Friis, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Friis, Glaive, Snappi, Valde. Is it Valde or Valde?
I would say Valde.
There's a character in Soul Calibur called Voldo. Just out of interest.
Okay, well, looks like we're going to see a bit of strats here. Flusha.
A bit of strats.
A bit of strats. A little bit of strats.
Please continue with this commentary, Dan.
I'm glad that you stopped me there, so that I could not further embarrass myself.
A bit of strats.
Nice little trade outside just to try to pull rotation away from the close positions on the B-bomb side itself so they can get the plant down. And now GODSENT charging up the yard. Couple kills already, so all is well. Very well. Well, if you're GODSENT, or a GODSENT supporter at least.
Well, I mean, technically half is well and half is terrible.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I didn't hear a bomb ticking.
You're misrepresenting the situation. Snappi is 16 HP. He doesn't have a kit though.
Okay, now I can hear it more.
Is the glass half full or half empty, Dan?
I guess that's half full.
You know what a GG answer is? That a glass is at 50% capacity. That's what you say if you're a boss.
I guess so. All right, I'll remember that. And everyone at home has to remember that as well.
The glass is at 50% capacity.
You should make a video
to
James's tips on how to be a boss.
It's not a bad idea. Maybe
you could wear that suit.
What suit?
That you were wearing in that video, that promo.
That one.
Promo was it? It was a FACEIT League.
FACEIT
one.
Yeah. I need to go to the gym before I put that on again.
Have you made gains? The wrong kind of gains?
All the wrong kind of gains.
All right, well, we've got GODSENT, of course, playing their anti-force buy. Heroic actually opting to spend everything apart from MODDII and Friis. Friis, of course, will be dedicated AWPer. And I like to see this. I like to see when teams just keep it simple. They just go outside, got a nice spread of players, can use those long avenues of attack. It's like playing deathmatch until you lose 2 of your players, and it becomes very uncomfortable.
Oh, flusha 6 HP, JW 21. Now we've got problems. Again, the main thing is here that oh wow, problems, even more problems. KRIMZ, the best situation for him is that the guns are far away because of the ranges you mentioned. That's the important thing for him at this moment in time. You can see Heroic setting up for a crossfire now, with MODDII moving over towards connector, and now the other main problem is the deagle, the meat shots from this deagle. KRIMZ is he trying to fake? Perhaps trying to bait them to pick up these weapons. We'll see. Oh, Friis will overextend. KRIMZ, one of the good people that you want in this kind of situation. Looking for the second play now. 40 seconds left. And now, MODDII's a problem man here because he's the one with the deagle. 2 shots. And KRIMZ will be done. Although, if he hits him with the Kevlar, it will require 3 shots because he'll do about 96 damage. Okay, MODDII's been spotted now. 20 seconds on the clock. And he has an AK in hand. Has KRIMZ spotted him? He's looking away now. Trying to fake, but now he's running out of opportunities to fake. Out comes MODDII, snaps his face off. That is a problem round for the Swedish side.
Yeah, very awkward.
Just pistols here and there.
They got to force it up now. It is, I guess, a bit more comfortable for the teams to force up in this situation than if he was on the other side. But that's just, you never just want that to happen. Because not only did that happen, but Friis was one of the guys that got 3 kills. He had invested nothing there. He was saving for an AWP, which he will have now. So, I mean, this can still work out okay for GODSENT if they're able to, even if they lose the round, if they're able to do a lot of damage, of course, they're still far from being in a position where they don't have many options. So let's see if they're able to do something here with a quick push, or will MODDII be on top of things? He's got himself an AK-47, so it's a pretty good tool for the job. Friis is also supporting him in the back lines with the AWP too, so this will be very hard for GODSENT, although they do have some nades to help them.
I'm curious as to what they're... You see JW's in Ivy, but the rest of the team's over towards B. So I don't think they're faking towards B. I think he's going to be trying to flank people who rotate. biding their time at the moment. Maybe waiting. Maybe they think Heroic have a timing for Molotovs, etc., to try and ruin things. No such mollies coming in. Minute on the clock, and the execution will begin for GODSENT. Still not moving. MODDII being patient this entire time, gets his bell run. Taking one play down, and he will be finished off by flusha. Man advantage, and now you see JW moving in the back, and he's picked up an M4, so perhaps he got a kill?
Yeah, he did. He did indeed. And that's really problematic, because that puts a clock on Heroic's retake. Because really, they can't waste time and go, to go back to deal with JW. They have to just go for it, and it's taking too long. They're not able to get anything working. And another round where we see the team with the force buy. This time it's a bit more handily won. So very good job by GODSENT in this situation. They're going to be able to steal away the AWP as well, which is very problematic for Heroic. It's kind of... I mean, they're in a really bad position now, much worse than GODSENT were in the previous round.
Yeah, especially when you're on the defense, let alone just the terrible economy. So let's see. The money's now all over the place, which is interesting for Heroic. 3 players have chosen to force buy. Friis and MODDII both not. Perhaps they're going for double up on the buy round. I don't know. Their next buy round, or well, the buy round. We will find out so far. So, one man down for both sides. We'll see if GODSENT are going to have a repeat over towards the A-bomb site. JW's putting in work. He's going to get finished off. But now it is Glaive versus 3. So again, then it's an expensive round for the side of the monies. And Glaive will get finished off. So I'm curious to see what Heroic's buy round is going to look like, and I do hope they have double ops in tow. You see MODDII's on 4,900 already, and Friis is on 37. So that's quite a lot of money onto MODDII. I don't know that he spent anything, I don't recall, but either way, he's got cash to splash in the coming rounds. And he's actually leaving all... They're not going to buy... Okay, he's bought Deagle. Other than that, they're not going to buy a single thing.
Yeah, kind of sad really for Heroic to have a start like this, but... and also GODSENT, well, I can't spit it out, James. Do you know
we'll
what?
Get there. We're warming up, Dad. We're warming up.
I know, it's been a while.
We're warming up.
All right, okay, here we go. You would expect GODSENT on paper to be the stronger team, but Heroic, I think, are one of the teams with the most upset potential at the moment that's playing. And they kind of popped out almost, it feels like sort of out of nowhere, but of course all those players have been around for ages, obviously. Friis, Glaive, Snappi, Valde, MODDII. I mean, they've all been around in different teams and been playing at a high level, so it's no surprise that they're doing quite well. And also, in many senses, it's kind of almost a domestic matchup. Of course, Heroic mostly Danish, apart from MODDII, I think the singular Swede.
Double up stand. MODDII dropped it for Snappi. He's going to be the second AWPer, so smart decisions made. It's always nice to get double ops on the CT side of Train. I think at Bucharest we saw a triple up at some point against a force buyer, which can always get a little bit weird. Didn't on that occasion, though. Friis off to a good start. Even better. JW goes down as well. No answer from GODSENT just yet. Valde on 7 HP, and there's a second AWP coming into play. There we go. 4 kills. Only one more to find, and flusha. He can get one consolation frag, but as soon as flusha spotted there, Valde does not need to peek again because he's got 7 HP. So the rest of the team can do the job.
Yeah, I like that a lot, actually. Valde just popping up there to try to get the information only, and then his teammates can adjust. So, Heroic, they win the round that they really needed to win, obviously, to get straight back in this, because they also invested so much. The double ops coming into play, and we'll see that continuing here. So it'll be interesting to see if GODSENT will opt to try to actually outpick them, if JW is going to be put in that position. But it does look like they're setting up grenades here, so we might just see, as a response to the double ops, they're going to say, how about this smoke execute? How about you try to deal with that with your fancy double ops?
SK have a nice smoke they put into main, which stops the connector peak from coming in, so it has to guess. And the other side of the wall from where Snappi is, to the right, people can get there pretty quickly. Snappi trying to pre-fire, he almost would have, he would have killed JW if he was maybe a few millimeters to one other side. Nice pop flash coming in from Valde, and he's going to reward himself with a kill. 2 men down for GODSENT side. pronax coming to do what he can. 2-man spray down. I'm not sure if you saw the player on top of the connector structure. But for the time being, it's 3 versus 3. Make that 2. And now that's going to be hard for pronax to plant the bomb with the man disadvantage. And he is more or less surrounded, and now he's dead. JW alone. These are very expensive rounds. War of attrition for both sides. Both AWP surviving for the time being from Heroic. Is Snappi watching the smoke? He is not. Now he's making noise, which JW will hear. And JW's in an awkward angle, but the scope has been heard. Snappi will escape, and now... Got all kinds of madness going on. It's getting funky.
Snappi living up to his name. felt like JW had a distinct opportunity there. Interesting. So also interesting that Snappi had, like, no one seemed to care about Snappi, just like sitting in that corner, all the angles. And I mean, Snappi could have actually just won the round straight away, because I think he had like 2 or 3 opportunities for shots that he didn't hit, that he actually did not hit, that he did take. But of course was able to do a very good job. And GODSENT, that fast push outside, they're going to have to work on some of those smokes perhaps. Got them moving towards B currently. And as usual, we've got, I believe, MODDII is the man who's up close. And he's got Friis, who's in the back lines again with the support. So it should be, again, a fairly solid hold. Friis hasn't been in this position previously, but the smoke will go down. So let's see if the change up there is actually going to help out Heroic on the defense. But this time, Friis has to do a lot because MODDII goes down straight away.
Oh, that should have been 2 kills. The nade is going to do more damage, but not critical. There's the second kill onto Znajder. Pronax goes down as well. The bomb's being planted, but they need more than that. They're a man down at the moment. JW coming in to win, but he's not going to be able to do that. Almost stereo frags on the B bomb site between Snappi and Glaive, and they will survive again with 3 players. We'll find out what their money looks like soon enough. 4-4. Back and forth game. Yeah,
very, very back and forth right now, which is very cool to see. Of course, probably a little bit nerve-wracking for both these teams. The starts were hilarious, just like, you know, winning off of the force buys at either side respectively, although the CTs didn't fully force buy when they won theirs. But these double ops do appear to be paying off. We'll have to see if GODSENT are going to find a good solution for this. You would imagine that they would have a lot of cool tricks up their sleeve, you know, even just simple smoke set pieces like one they attempted on the yard, although they weren't covering all the angles, which should be able to block off the vision to allow them to get onto the bomb side, get the plant down, which should then force the ops to move closer and into harder spots to actually convert the ops on. So interesting that GODSENT are having a bit of a struggle at the moment, but it is surely a matter of time.
Well, let's not forget they're a new team. And they've got 7 maps to organise.
That's true.
And that's 14 halves.
That is very true.
So a lot of work to be done. MODDII holding the lower ground now, keeping them surprised. Friis with 2 for 1 collateral damage. Hello, Dubai. JW, last man standing now with an AK, a HE grenade, and full armor. It's an interesting time for GODSENT because their new team is formed at a time where there are lots of qualifiers for various leagues and tournaments and such. So it's hard for them because, again, they have 14 halves to practice, and it's a horrible time with which to practice it because of how important the matches are for, let's say, until the end of the year, pretty much.
Yeah, it's really rough. It's funny as well, just the general mix-up of all these teams and players that we're seeing. I mean, the Swedish shuffle, it felt like that was kind of coming for a while. And I am very excited, actually, by both lineups. I think in this current situation JW is in, it'd be pretty amazing if he's able to get some damage here. But you can see that this kind of perimeter that's been set up by Heroic is pretty damn strong. Valde will be able to take the fight here. Nice little off angle, but there you go. We've got JW actually picking up the kill. And with 2 HP, he realizes that's probably all he's going to get. Doesn't want to die after time and knows he can actually save what he has. So he's going to be going for that. So yeah, I have to say I am very excited by the new Fnatic lineup too, with Twist playing, and you know, just an ode to the old LGB. In some senses, you know, Dennis, Twist, all of my those characters.
I'm excited for both teams from next year. Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so once they've had some prep.
Yeah, once they've had time for everything to settle, if you will, for the sediment at the base of, you know, the sea.
Are we doing this? Are we doing geography here?
Doing scuba diving references.
Geology.
I've injured my ear scuba diving, but more on that later. Znajder has an AK and no armor. I feel like he'd be better off with a deagle, giving the AK to someone else. But I mean, everyone's dead now, so it doesn't really matter. Flushes over towards the pop dog position, as we like to call it, and everyone's dead. Over to you, Dan.
What about your ear?
I'm trying to look up the name of what I think I have, what I believe my issue is.
Is it cochlear instability?
No.
Oh, okay. I tried.
I think... We'll come back to it later, Dan. There's a buy round for both sides. We've got 5 AKs coming out of GODSENT. Are we going to see a fast round from them? They know there are orbs on the map. for Heroic. What is their play going to be? They're limited on grenades, they've got flashbangs, and they've got Molotovs. Triple Molotov, interesting.
Well, it looks like they're going to play it slow. They've spread out pretty much all over the place. They've got players towards B, towards Ali, and towards, or Ivy, if you're that way inclined, and also, of course, towards T main. So trying to create openings just all over the shop, and they don't really have much in the way of utility to work with. But they did have enough for some kind of a set piece, and they're just getting picked off here. Going for these one-on-ones, definitely favorable in a lot of respect towards the CTs, but still able to find some kills here just because they are splitting up the defense in so many which ways. You likely won't expect to see a round like this a lot of the time from the T. So that is, I suppose, the strength of it, that it does pull the players all over the place. So you can better isolate players or better isolate one-on-ones. And znajder's actually going to steal away a bomb plant, which is very interesting right now for GODSENT. He has support with flusha too, so right now GODSENT are favored to win this round.
There is, well, znajder's stuck between two players, however. And Friis has been spotted. This is Glaive's time to shine. And now he's in a very sticky situation. I think he might know where znajder is. Maybe just about saw him. Is he making steps? He's got 13 HP, and now he will fall. GODSENT back to winning ways. This will reset a loss bonus, so this is a tricky round for them. And look at the money on Heroic. They should have a better buy than GODSENT in this situation. Unless GODSENT can juggle their drops so all their teammates can buy their respective grenades. We'll see how well they can do that. You see JW is a little bit short, but with the AWP in his hands, you don't really want him spending time holding grenades in his hands instead. Pronax down to the Galil, so indeed Heroic will have a better buy. Straight back on the double orbs into the last third of the first half. More players over towards Ivy for GODSENT in this situation. We've got Valde moving pretty close to the ladder room, the pop dog, rather, sorry. I almost said drop dog. Now Friis is moving to connector on B, but there's action towards Ivy.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like GODSENT can just walk all over the place and sort of take these engagements. Very interesting, trying to use what maybe they believed is to be is their superior skill. Maybe that's what they are. That's the approach they're going on, the angle that they're trying to exploit. MODDII will be exploiting znajder as he's caught up the ladder there. So be a tough situation. A on train, very very hard to retake. Oh, a little bit of there's a glitch in the matrix, and still it will be JW with the frag in the end. Just MODDII left now, and a mere 19 health. And their money must be they must be pretty awful on money soon surely. Heroic. They've had big buys. GODSENT have been getting the damage in. We'll have to have a look in a moment. Can MODDII save this? Who is that? I think it's flusha, who was near the ladder. He has since escaped. Very nicely done by MODDII there. Quick kill. Could have ended up quite badly, actually. flusha will get him in the end regardless. So a little bit of extra damage there's always nice. But let's see how the money is looking now for Heroic. Okay, so they do need to save one. So it's starting to get to this position where GODSENT could actually take the 9-6. And which after that start, it's going to feel pretty good for them. And I feel like Heroic are a team you're always just going to be kind of worried about. Especially, as you mentioned, because GODSENT don't have all the routine yet.
Yeah, Heroic have been under the radar for a while, apart from their team name being announced, but definitely on the radar now with recent performances. MODDII looking to pop some faces. Valde doing the same. Pronax is playing with fire, or playing with smoke rather. Where there's smoke, there's fire. It's fire from Valde's 5-7 to take that AK away. He's looking for more as well. Flash forces the T's back into main. And there's a nice crossfire. Nice work coming in there from Valde. And he's got his teammate in for support, but he goes for the full spray, and znajder repicks straight back into that spray. Very nice spray control there, despite the slight nerf to spray in general. And now flusha is trying to get at least one kill for his team.
So problems really when it comes to playing against these, essentially these eco rounds. It just seems to be very pervasive, but not just for GODSENT, also for Heroic. They struggled in some of the rounds where they were up against mere pistols. And that's a shame. GODSENT, they could have had so much more. flusha's going to again just try to work on the damage here. It's going to be very difficult. And GODSENT, they're going to be reset. I don't think they have any money.
There's no Kevlar on any of these Heroic players. But flusha's running out of time to get anything done. Again, you see the flusha smarts there. Kills one player, goes for the spray transfer to where he spotted the previous player in case of trade fragging situation. Very nice stuff. Look, is that a triple peak coming in from Heroic? Let's find out. I think it is. spots one, but they're all there.
Nice.
That reminds
like that.
me of one time the Renegade squad on Dust 2. They had players on short. They were on CT side. They had players on short, CT spawn, and elevator, or from CT spawn to long, basically. And they all lined up above each other in their respective positions. So one player faced them, and I think he faced 4 CTs at the same time.
That's brilliant.
It was beautiful.
I love that stuff.
Anyway, 2 rounds left in this particular half. flusha, the only man, indeed they are down on the monies, Dan. So opportunities for 9-6 have since passed one of these 2 teams, and that look pretty good for the other side. Heroic, look at the placement of that. It's always going to spread. There's a similar situation to that in the apartments of Inferno. To the right of the balcony, the little room. If you're on a T side, you can throw a Molotov that forces a CT into the corner, and then it spreads, and then it's too late, and they die.
No. Okay, well, it will be interesting to see whether GODSENT can keep that trend continuing of just being able to win with pistols. They have 1 rifle though, and it will claim 1 kill, but Glaive is just locking this down, buying loads of time for his teammates too. Has the bomb now, so no should be any more problems. Oh, that is what I would call a problem though, and that's potentially an AWP, I think, up for grabs there for either znajder or pronax. Znajder's going to grab that one as MODDII makes his way around, but flusha is expecting this. This is the thing right now, GODSENT have a lot of ability to potentially catch these CTs off, but MODDII will be the one to get the jump onto flusha. Friis locking it down. Just znajder left against 3 with 35 seconds. Ooh.
Tagged, but not fragged. He has opportunity now because he's carrying the bomb, and he is not going to be able to take it over the line. Damage done though. Maybe an overextension pushing through that smoke when they had some advantages, but I guess they didn't want the other side to have an opportunity to move towards CT behind that smoke and kind of pin to the site and cause problems for Heroic. Either way, they move into the last round. 2 rounds to the good. Double ops once more, and full grenades, full defuse kits for Heroic, whereas it is a ragtag buy for GODSENT, lacking in grenades, and now it's KRIMZ on the Galil rather than pronax, as previously seen. That Molotov will be a pain. I think it was, I want to say it's Alu I sometimes see on the T side of this map, trying to shoot through the wall into connector. It's either Alu or Mo from Gambit. I think it's actually Mo from Gambit. Maybe
yeah,
it's
I
both.
think so.
Yeah, but I know Mo does that.
I think Guardian famously has claimed some lives in that manner too, but the run and gun has commenced. And it will be Friis picking up a couple kills there. On 1 HP, still alive actually with the AWP, and he gets another one. That is fantastic work from Friis. You can't really ask anything else of your AWPer. Yeah, you know, just survive against 3 guys running at you with AK-47s at close range. Survive on 1 HP, why not? Good job to Friis. Leaving just flusha to the running goal though. There you go. Gets the slam dunk. But now now it's going to be a tough one to find these remaining CTs. He has plenty of time to work with though. And there is the first one. It's a free one too. But where on earth is Snappi?
Yeah, 40 seconds. Well, Snappy's been spotted now, and he might not be able to retreat. So he goes for the jaw because he knows flusha's going to chase. And GODSENT will steal away the last round in the first half to have a 1-round deficit. So as you can see, coaches are still allowed in ECS until the end of the year at the very least. I'm not a fan of organizers taking snap decisions with no prior warning based on Valve rulings, which a lot of people have done and just banned coaches immediately. I don't think that's really fair for teams. So at the very least, we will allow coaches to be in the game until the end of the year.
I mean, they can make their choice because, right, a lot of them probably would think, okay, a lot of the tournaments aren't having the coaches, so we're going to try to play without one as well. But
yeah, I know, but you need a transition period. You
I'm just saying,
you can't just push down people and say, no more coaches.
But I mean, in this situation, we have given them the choice.
Yeah, they have the choice. They can do what they want, yeah.
They can do what they want.
Yeah, but I think that allows them to naturally transition out of it. Some people may be lazy and not do it anyway, but then that will cause them more problems into the new year when people will be ahead of the curve in that respect.
I think naturally we'll see a lot less of the coaches, I guess. But they have the choice at least.
I hope we don't see less of coaches. I mean, less of them as in-game leaders.
As IGLs, yeah.
Coaches definitely needed.
So
we have the Heroic T pistol, and they are very spread out. 2 decoys over towards Ivy, but they do have a player holding an off angle, which is Valde. Now, we have a number of players over towards B. But the bomb is around the pop dog, so it could split either way. perhaps depending on where success is found by Heroic.
Yeah, so just waiting to see if there's anything that GODSENT will do. But generally speaking, on the CT pistol, you just sit still. JW's actually moving in, and he's going to get himself a kill as well. That's a big play there from JW. And that information of just seeing a player there doesn't really give him that much. I mean, he's always going to take the kill there. It's always a nice little advantage.
That headshot, though.
Yeah. Down to 24.
And he can. I don't know if you can even detect, because it's pretty dark from Glaive's perspective, looking at KRIMZ. So he may not realize that he headshot KRIMZ there. Maybe he does. But I mean, he can go back to the well because he hasn't been touched. Although if he gets shot once in the head, he's done.
Yeah.
40 seconds left, and there's opportunity for Heroic towards B because of the health of KRIMZ. And we have a very deep execute coming in. Look at that Molotov as well. Interesting, but they're not committing to it. It's a fake. The bomb's headed towards A, but JW is still ready and waiting there. There is a flank coming in from Ivy, but it's going to be too late, it seems. JW goes down, though. So far, so good for the T's.
Oh, wow. Whoa.
Never mind.
In about 1 second, they all hit the ground. It would have been very sad as well had Glaive died when he was facing KRIMZ, because he actually had the Molotov and the smoke.
I'm glad I'm not observing this game. Because three kills in 1 second. Good luck. Good luck catching that action. Heroic on the pistols, the smokes and the flashes. The score is 8-8. 8 plus 8 is 16. Learn that, guys. You may need that in the future. So what is the play? I would say what is the play from Heroic, but when you've got JW on GODSENT, the question is what is the play from GODSENT as well? JW perhaps has itchy feet. Again, he's moving slowly towards main. He stopped now.
I mean, I feel like the nice thing on Train is that it's a map where it is pretty easy to bomb rush yourself to at least a bomb plant on the B-bomb site. They have, of course, invested everything, so they really would love to win the round, but that's obviously definitely a thing that can work quite well. But Tech9s, if you run him in anywhere with grenades, you are going to get some kills. Znajder by E-Box, he's going to be the first one claiming a couple of lives there, really capitalizing on the lack of helmets with that MP9. Perfect positioning for that, and in comes the flank. Not much you can really do against this. The bomb does go down at the very least, but I think Heroic really would have wanted more than just one kill with that bomb plant. At least 2 or 3, I think, would have been, of course, ideal. But they'll only get 1, which is going to help out GODSENT quite a lot, maintain that integrity.
I love a delayed defuse to allow your teammates to pick up resources, utility, weapons, etc. Get as much as you can, even flashbang. Just delay that defuse and let your teammates just run over the bodies of the fallen opponent and see if there's anything to collect.
I wonder if people delay diffuses to put the kettle on and stuff. So, excuse me, just gonna
to get the mincemeat out. Sometimes it requires the pause. Allegedly, who knows if it's true? I like to believe it is, though.
Yeah. I want to live in that world.
A world where you're free to prepare mincemeat whenever you like.
Exactly. Now, we've got the second attempt here by Heroic to get something done. Of course, this time, this will actually be not a force buy, just pistols with not much else to help you out with these pushes on. Flush, they will mess up that nade somewhat spectacularly, but it won't matter too much, I don't think. It's a shame, though. That could have been a money nade.
Well, KRIMZ has a lot of targets. Very patient with the spray there. Now going for the full spray towards the upper people, and they will get peppered like a steak by the Tech9. And indeed, they will all be brazed, Dan. And there will be no plants. The brazing was true. It was complete. It was pure. It was pure brazing.
Nice. So what do you have on your steak? You just pepper?
Yes.
I like béarnaise.
I'm not... I look at what they give me, and then I'll make a decision based on that, because I'm not a connoisseur of steak, and I don't like to eat it too often.
Like to go with your gut feeling?
No, I just like to look at what they have, because I don't know what to do.
Oh, okay.
It's not really gut feeling, it's just stupidity. So we have a solo player towards B in flusha, playing the low ground. And in this situation, it's always nice if you have an AWP around connector. On this occasion, JW's over towards Ivy, but if you have a connector AWP, he can look at the high ground as well. You see it sometimes from French teams, not necessarily as a default, but you do see it. JW would have hopefully seen the feet jumping over there, which is maybe why he has a tighter angle now. The trajectory of the nade will tell him everything he needs to know, and Glaive will present himself, and he will be taken.
Oh, I can't remember what the actor's called who stars in that Taken movies. Otherwise, I could have
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, oh, God, I felt like he set that up for me. I was like, what's his name? What's his name? I don't remember. There's so much potential there. I just ruined all of it. It sucks.
I was thinking more about wildlife, actually.
Oh, you were?
There's that, what's it called, that Twitter account, Nature is Brutal or something?
Scary?
It's just showing, yeah, Nature is Scary, which I'm just looking at all the time.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Mad GIFs.
GIFs for days.
I'm waiting until you have the goats being dragged off the cliffs by eagles.
Oh, yeah.
And dropped to their doom.
Yeah, it feels like that should be every other day.
Retweets will be incoming.
Well, looks like we're going to have the first kill by Friis there. Was trying to go for the pick, and we get the snap onto the bomb site now. The triple-pronged attack, very, very hard to deal with as a CT from the CT's perspective. Although there is, I think, a flank coming from flusha, who might be able to catch. Yeah, he's going to get Friis, and everyone pops out from their angles all at once, leaving a few dead T-bodies. Not much for MODDII to do by Popdog. It was a great opening, a really great opening, but GODSENT, when their back was against the wall there, they handled themselves very well.
It has to be said, MODDII's aim is pretty nasty.
Yeah.
In this game, he is ruining fools when he sees them. He's not like setting the scoreboard ablaze, but he's just. I mean, bearing in mind how long he's played the game for, it's nice to see him looking so sharp in that respect. Now it's GODSENT's turn to have the double ops on the CT side. Heroic have 5 smoke grenades and 2 flashbangs. They need a bomb plant here.
A bomb plant would be lovely. And they're going to be working on that one now. All the grenades are coming in to block off the avenues. Just lots of spots, though, for KRIMZ to spam. I love that he decides to go into CT heaven there. He can, of course, get the angle over the smokes with the rifle advantage on the ranges, too. There's just not too much they can do. You can see he knows his angles there. Unable to actually stop the plant from going down. So that's a big win from Heroic. However, they are slowly but surely falling, and they are not able to get much damage whilst they are doing that. So that's also problematic, because I feel like GODSENT have gotten a lot of rounds at this point where they've survived with a lot of people. I feel like their economy must be growing a lot.
Interestingly, a lot of the players in that round on the T side, you plant the bomb and you lose the round, you get $800 bonus, but a lot of them spent $800 in the first place, Tech 9 and a smoke grenade. So there's not much profit made in that particular round to help them buy in the following rounds. So pretty much, you know, where you have the odd pistol and smoke bought, then you think the plant is worst case scenario, get some extra money in the bag, but there, I guess that's worst case scenario, to make your money back, and then you want to win the round basically after that with Bedlam, or maybe try and run away with a weapon perhaps. Either way,
yeah, I think
they are back on the buy.
There's definitely more points to be made there, I think, but that's what you want to see from Friis, continuing his work. Friis and his AWP has so far been somewhat divine.
The Lord's work, but who is the Lord?
Maybe we'll find out. Maybe he will make himself known.
That is a crap answer. I mean, you could have said like anything else, like a person,
like a hamster.
Even a hamster, yeah.
All right, well,
that would have been fine.
I'll learn that for next time.
Actually, I was watching randomly a TV show yesterday. Well, I wasn't watching it, it was on, and it had Abu Hamza and Abu Hamster. Man advantage for GODSENT. Double AWPs. I'll tweet that actually so you can see that if it's of interest to you. The A site is kind of in Heroic's hands at the moment, but it soon won't be because they don't have the numbers advantage, and GODSENT have them split in half with the positioning of flusha and JW. One AWP on both ends of the site. It's going to be brutal. There it begins. Got a play coming in from Connector as well, and KRIMZ will go past flusha to make this an even tighter net. Very hard for Heroic. 4 versus 2 situation. Down goes Snappi. Friis alone. If he does this, it will be something special. Molotov's all over the place. He's going to get smoked off as well. And he has little choice but to back off and get out of there.
That sucks. Gotta cut your losses. Fall back. Nothing you can do. But this round, maybe they can do something. Can they get Friis into a forward position again for those early picks? They're going to have to get those sooner rather than later because they are running out of rounds at this point. GODSENT are getting quite close. And they've been happily running that double up setup on JW and flusha for quite some time now, and it has provided, or been quite effective. The efficacy is unquestionable. Going to get grenades in here by Heroic to cut off some of those angles and avenues, but actually, it's a smoke screen. Quite literally, they're actually going for the B play, and there's a fantastic pick onto flusha. They should be able to do this. They can just get this push up the yard to work out.
MODDII's flashes coming in. Can GODSENT get back into the map? MODDII's not going to allow them to say yes. znajder gets taken down. Lots of spray coming in as well. They are forced to retreat. 5 versus 3, and this is pretty much safe from the situation. They have been completely choked off the choke point. Spotted making their exit as well. And perhaps they'll get hunted. This Snappi will get taken down. We'll see if Heroic will opt for their own money management, but Friis is charging forward, and he's alone with his AWP, so, I mean, he could potentially lose this, and then we'll see what happens. His legs will show, and indeed, the AWP will be lost, and now things get too expensive for Heroic. MODDII's picked one up elsewhere, it seems, actually, so perhaps things can be rescued yet.
That was quite cool, actually, that fake, because that straight up worked. It's not every time I see teams run that fake as well. It's not very often, that is. So quite cool to see that working just off the bat. GODSENT were not expecting that. And Train, like many maps, of course, you could say this about, I suppose, it tends to come down to conditioning your opponent into the kind of strategies that you'll run. So fakes work best when you've shown the regular round. Like, let's say that setup, but you go in with the smokes. You've shown that, hand a few times, and then you throw in the fake when it really counts. And Friis, he's doing it again. He's getting himself into that forward position and getting the frag. He's managed to work his way out of there. pronax will actually be able to spot him just for the time being, but it looks like Friis is playing this very passively now, which I like.
He's going back though. znajder's on the high ground, picks up the AWP, and he will take away the kill. 2 AWPs continue for GODSENT, but the execute's coming into the B bomb site. Nades and counter nades onto both sides. flusha's trying to find an opening, waiting for somebody to cross. But he can try and hold the high ground while he has that smoke. I wonder if that's deliberate. I'm assuming it is. Can just half cover his teammate. Can't cover the deep low ground below him. There goes znajder. So 3 versus 3. This is a really brutal map between these two sides.
Yeah.
KRIMZ gets taken down. Man advantage now. pronax coming in from the back. It's going to be hard for flusha to get fragged from this point. MODDII won't win the duel with pronax there. So now we're down to the 2 versus 2. No Molotovs on the T side. They were going to have to protect this with AKs only. Smokes go down, and so does Glaive. So now Valde's been spotted, and he's out of position. pronax is on the bomb, and he doesn't need to let go of this. I don't know if Val can get there in time. He's got no nades to help him either. And indeed, the round will be stolen by pronax due to Valde's positioning and his teammate going down above the bomb.
For Heroic. After that effort, which was, I'm not going to say it, but it was good. It was a very solid effort.
It was a considered effort.
It was considered, yeah. It was Herculean, in fact. Herculean effort.
That's a very bold statement you're making there, Dan.
I just want to...
I'm not going to dispute it.
So the point, obviously, now is that they're going to feel like something's been stolen, and they have been relying on Friis a lot. And it's actually great to see Friis playing so well with Heroic as he has been, because in previous lineups with Friis, I always felt like he just was very flat. I mean, he carried a lot of name value. From the 1.6 days, but just never quite lived up to that in CSGO. If he continues to perform like he's been doing in this map and on this team, then maybe we'll see a new side of him, which would be fantastic. Maybe he's just happier with these guys. But speaking of which, pronax might be assaulting his position very, very soon, looking for information. I don't think there's going to be a pop flash or anything for pronax to go with. He might just settle on this forward position. Eventually, there's going to come a timing, though, on the clock where GODSENT will feel like, okay, this is the kind of timing we expect Heroic to do something. So that's a spot where you can throw preemptive flashes and so on. But it seems like it is time to go here onto the yard from Heroic.
JW on the high ground. He's waiting for somebody to peek. Friis doing the same, but he's going to lose. JW go down. Now it's a 4 versus 2. Man, the frags go back and forth between these sides so quickly. flusha staying alive for the time being. They know where he is. The bomb's down, though. And now these players need to try and trade. I'm not sure if they can hear flusha from their position. He has got the hell out of dodge. And the bomb, it seems, will be slowly collected. Being very careful about it, meticulous. flusha throwing a smoke grenade, which will seem to come out of nowhere, although they seem to realize where it is, in fact. But he's going to pre-aim the angles, although he will have now no idea where MODDII is. And the problem is, flusha, he can't really scope back in again. So he's at a significant disadvantage because MODDII will know exactly where he is. MODDII's above him, in fact, and there it is. The end of the round. Heroic staying alive. GODSENT only 2 rounds away from this map.
This is what's so cool about this matchup and both of these teams, is that individually, you can see just, I mean, it doesn't matter, like, strategically, tactically, you know, what the economic situation is. Sometimes one of these players from either team can just find themselves in one of those weird, awkward, or hard to play from spots, and they're just going to surprise you because they have so much skill. And right there, you know, we saw Valde opening things up very, very effectively. Somebody from Heroic is often able to, you know, pull something out of the bag here, but GODSENT just that little bit ahead. Will it continue? Will Heroic be able to salvage something here? We've got a nice two-man setup here on Ali, and JW looking for the shot, misses the flick. I'm not sure if he had much to work with there. Good cover, actually, from Valde to make that jump across safe. And that's going to push JW slightly out of position. Interesting work there from Heroic. They're now going to leave, completely abandon Ali, and set up for the push. This is really smart, actually, because now GODSENT will be thinking, we need to have men there. But in reality, all that Heroic have done is they forced GODSENT from not being able to play far up the yard now, which is very smart if they're going for that yard push.
Reasonable amount of nades onto both sides at present, so there's still time to execute and counter grenades from the CT side. But really, it's all about the duels at the moment. JW will spot many people over towards main. He can raise the alarm for his teammates. Already 4 people on the A side. They're going to hold steadfast. flusha just holding passively towards B just in case. Heroic closing the angles. Now you've got the variance of all these smokes on the A side. Everybody running around, not seeing anybody. znajder, not much you can do in that situation. Down goes KRIMZ as well. So it seems Heroic can get some more rounds on the board just here. Nothing but variance. People playing around the smoke disappearing. Right place, right time, in comes the frag. 4 versus 2. Snappi holding an angle on pronax. Not much they can do at this moment. GODSENT, 2 versus 4. Shoulders being caught, and that's enough for Snappi to take down pronax.
Tough times for GODSENT. Almost said Fnatic there. Wonder when that's I'm gonna get used to that. Seeing flusha's name and not directly associating him with Fnatic. The long tenure that he had on that team, and trying to get something done here, but he's going to get caught by MODDII. Very, very difficult position to be in on one of the hardest sites, if not the hardest, to retake in the game after the T's have set up their post-plant positions. And now just 3 rounds away from equalizing, and GODSENT's money's not too good, so they're not going to be able to put up too much resistance in some of these in the next couple rounds. So Heroic have a real in now. But as you said, they have been relying on a lot of, essentially, spots where they will be playing in variance in the chaos of the yard.
What's the nature of train as well when you have all those nades coming in? People, you know, train ships passing in the night through a smoke grenade. One person turns around, other person dies. 3 rounds now between these two sides. GODSENT have lost, I wonder if they're on maximum loss bonus just yet. flusha spotted on the site. Now they will slowly move in. I have a gimmick on this site. If you stand on the train itself in the middle, and then when they come into plant, just throw a smoke and try to run in the smoke. And
try to knife people, right?
Well, you can try to knife people if you're just trolling, or try to defuse it. Which now you have the beep, it's going to be a lot harder. They try to. It seems Valve try to do away with ninja diffusers and stolen rounds. They want you to earn the rounds.
If you manage to ninja, I feel like you earn it.
Yeah, like I mean we've seen some absurd ones, especially E-League. I think it was KRIMZ over on Mirage B. Well, 2 rounds between these two sides, and GODSENT are back with 2 AWPs against 1 AWP on the T side. Although all 3 of these AWPs are seemingly equally as dangerous.
Yes, they are.
No, they haven't. They got 1 AWP. What am I talking about? I misread the screen somehow.
AWPs are indeed dangerous. That's all I have to say.
Great. So we have Heroic have some utility. You know, they've thrown out some initial grenades, maybe trying to waste the utility of GODSENT, but GODSENT still have a fair amount of kit in the bank to work with. And they have they're deeper towards the back of A at the moment. 2 players near connector for GODSENT and 2 players over towards IB, which can potentially let them wrap around the site on A should it be required, but they're moving more aggressive again, so it seems they're trying to read what Heroic have to offer them. But because znajder, he's checking every corner of the map, maybe a bit paranoid, but maybe that's because of Friis. I mean, he has been running up into these corners and shooting people when they peek and so on, so he wants to make sure there are no nasty surprises. MODDII opting for potentially a fake, because we have players moving towards B now on the high and low ground. There's still somebody towards main, which is Valde. I think he's actually above it. flusha though, can raise the alarm to his teammates. That's a very nice grenade indeed. Doing great work here. 2 kills for him. 2-for-1 trade. That is favourable for his team.
Jilo's got a nice position, and he's going to catch MODDII. Very good catch indeed as he progresses forwards. Closer and closer. And his teammates are with him as well. He's got a nice flank set up too. Snappi and Valde have a lot of work on their hands. Just Snappi now. That's not the way to start it off, and he will die. And GODSENT will quickly reclaim control. Another round,
Game points.
and now just 1 away from taking map 1. And these teams stand to gain 3 points if they win both of their maps, of the maps that they play against one another. But if they only win 1 map, they only get 1 point. So that's how this rolls. So it's very much in the interest, especially in this matchup, because I would say, you know, GODSENT and Heroic are probably 2 of the most competitive teams. It's, you know, how I feel about it in the 8 teams that we have, which we can always look at again later on, I think. Double up, James. Or doppio, they would say in Italian. JW will start things off well. Oh, that would have been criminal.
Look at the confidence here. Oh, Glaive. Oh, he's going to survive for now. We've seen JW do things from this position, but this time he has pronax in for help. That smoke is going to come out just in time, but he's going to jump and get ruined by Valde.
That's the, what the hell's going on, Dan?
Fun position in the sun. Yeah, it is. Fun in the sun there for JW. There's man advantage for GODSENT. Still lots of Molotovs on the map at present. 6, in fact, to make it 5. So GODSENT with 3 people to stop themselves from losing the first map. What can they do?
Well, throw a flash and pray for the best. Flash worked, but Valde, oh, I think you can see on them. Oh no, Valde could have taken them both down. He's going to finally find pronax, and MODDII's going to open things up from Pop Dog. So, hey, it's going to work out anyway, but they're still 2v2. Health disadvantage, 35 seconds on the clock to play with, and the bomb needs to be recollected. So, GODSENT, they are in a fantastic position. KRIMZ now, he will win his fight. Nice positioning, forcing Valde to chase him, and then cutting him down with the AK. Looks too easy here for GODSENT. 16-12. They will take map 1.
Yeah, he saw a nice bit of baiting from KRIMZ. And there was a chance he could have got a headshot there, which would have been a problem. But it was all about flusha. He was holding the angle with the AWP. Welcome back. I've raised my screen now, so my screen is higher than yours. As I am higher than you, I thought it was only fair. So, I mean, that was a really interesting first map. Lots of dueling going on. Pretty crazy. Not your standard train, I would say. And now we go on to the second map, which I don't know what it is. What is it, producer Patrick? Quick, 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 come on. People are waiting. He's over there.
Yeah, he's right over there. Do you think we should show his face on the camera at some point? Or should they forever be mysterious?
No. They should all remain mysterious.
Yeah, disembodied voice.
It's been a while since we casted in gaming chairs.
Yeah. I like the stalls, man.
That's going to be a long evening. You hate the stalls?
I love stalls.
Do you?
I'm a stall man.
Overpass? Awesome. Overpass is the next map. You like the stalls?
Yeah.
So do I.
Love a good stall.
We could do what? Okay, apparently we're going to commercial.
That's great.
I like how... I mean, we could do this more professionally, but I really don't want to. I prefer to just shout at him where you can't see him. It's more fun. We'll see you after the break.